Well, Erica, welcome to the Honor Cafe Hall of Heroes.
Thank you.
This is a big day today. Tell us about what's going on today.
Today, my journey here at the Hearts Veterans Museum is coming to a sad end, but for new beginnings, I was recently hired on as the Madison County VSO for the county, so I will be there.
Well, I know that's good for your family, but you're going to be missed here. And how long have you been here at Hart Museum?
I've been here a little over a year.
A little over a year.
Yes, sir.
What have you been doing here?
So our main focus here is veteran outreach and doing anything and everything we can to help veterans in any way.
And I know you've been an incredible help to Tara, and you're going to be greatly missed. But because today is about you, we're doing your interview today.
Yes, sir.
Because you served.
Yes, I did. I did 7 years in the Army.
In the Army. What was your job?
I was a military police officer.
Really?
Yes.
MP. What was that training like?
Well, in all honesty, during the time of war, I was actually deployed more than I worked the road. And our main job focus when we were deployed was combat support, because that's what we do. So we were attached to infantry units, we were attached to cavalry units, we assisted with route clearance, with ECP, with anything and everything, including training the ANA, the Afghan National Army, as well as the Afghan police, and then meeting for shuras with the elders. We just did it all.
Why MPs?
Well, initially I wanted to go K9, and of course, thank you to my recruiter, I was promised something that didn't never happen, but that's okay. I'm where I am supposed to be for that reason.
What did your family think about you going in the Army, especially at time of war?
I think that they were scared but proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you married at that time?
No, I went in when I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when did you meet your husband?
I met my husband on my second deployment.
Wow.
Yes.
And you guys have kids?
We do. We have 4 kids. I have a son, my stepson. He's 19 this year, and then we have 3 little girls, 5 years old, 4 years old, and 9 months old.
So let's talk about your first deployment. A lot of people, when they think about deployments, or even when you're in the military, you have this expectation what it's going to be like, and then you get there and it's kind of chaotic. Nothing works the way you thought it would.
Right.
And explain that, what the feelings were, and what was that experience like?
Well, when I went in initially, I think one of the hardest things that I struggled with in just basic training alone was the length of your stride. Men typically have a lot longer stride than a shorter female, and so me trying to keep up and marching was really hard for me. I know that sounds crazy, but I was thinking about this the other day.
No, I understand that because I have a long stride, and when they ran, they always made us take shorter strides, and I hated that because I had to learn how to take shorter strides. So somehow we met in the middle.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But so that was a really hard one to learn in basic. But anyways, it ended up working out. So.
How soon from your military police training till your first deployment?
So I graduated basic February, and I deployed in April.
What year was that?
2008.
2008. And where did you deploy?
I deployed to Paktika province in Afghanistan.
Okay. So when you got there, I mean, there was a lot of other, military members, but not as many female MPs. How many did you have? How many females were in your unit?
I mean, typically there's anywhere from 3 to 4 per platoon.
Per platoon.
Right, and MPs are a lot of times broke up into platoons, so different platoons get sent to different areas for support. So your headquarters might be here, but your first platoon is at a different FOB.
Did you realize right away that you may see your actual combat because of the support and where you're at, and how were you mentally prepared for that?
I was not at all. I really wasn't. I don't think anybody going in, really has an expectation of, getting into it, and that's exactly what happened. We hit it pretty hard, pretty quick. We're out on mission, OJTs, and left seat, right seat, and getting our training done, and then they just leave, and you're there to figure it out on your own. And I was just the little private at the time and had no idea what I was doing and just taking direction as I was given it.
Did you remember your first time like leaving the wire?
I don't. I don't. But I mean, with 2 deployments, and I don't.
Yeah. So you got hit by an IED.
I did.
What deployment was that?
That was my first deployment.
That was your first deployment.
Right.
So when into your deployment did that happen?
That would have been July. So we deployed in April. 4 months in is when my truck got hit.
So you obviously you came out okay, but you did sustain some injuries.
I did.
And you received a Purple Heart for that.
Yes, sir. I did.
Yes.
Yeah. Our whole truck was entirely destroyed by the ammunition. We were moving from one fob to another, and we had just gotten off a 30-day mission for searching for culottes and weapons caches, and we were assisting the Afghan National Army. And anyways, we finally got our new assignment at a new fob, and we had everything we owned in our vehicles, including all of our assigned weapons, from AT4s down to 203s and grenades. So when the truck got hit, we just had to get out. That was the main goal, and thank God we all did. We were able to get back to a secure spot in the truck behind us because we were lead gun, we were lead truck, and essentially the truck just caught fire, blew up, and burned to the ground.
Yeah, that's. I can't imagine. Watching all your stuff burn. It's
right.
Kind of like your house burns.
Right. Yeah.
Because you lose everything.
Right, and you don't have much when you're there.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally, I was fortunate enough that my battle buddies loaned me PTs, and I wore tennis shoes with my uniform that had blood on it until I got my new issues because I lost everything.
So they kept you in country and just let you heal there.
Yeah. So I was in the talk for a little bit with my stitches healing in my face for. I don't even remember how long, but then I was put back out.
Did they take care of you at the battalion aid station, or did you get shipped to the hospital?
No, there was just a cache there. It was really small. Yeah, they just really stitched me up on the table.
Where was that? Where was the cache at that point? Was it in Bagram or where did you go? What cache was it? Do you remember?
It was had you not asked me, I would have told you FOB, because it was my first deployment. We were leaving FOB. I can't remember.
It's okay. You did get hit in the head.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, we were at several different spots and several different locations, but I eventually got sent to our main headquarters, and they ended up they ended up sending me home because I was just having a lot of issues going right back out and not being scared. I was calling everything up because I was nervous.
Yeah.
And I came home with some serious issues, and then. I struggled for a really long time before I finally figured out that what I was dealing with wasn't normal. Yeah. And I got some help, and
so when you got back, and there's also TBI issues and all that that's going on.
Right.
Who did you reach out to for help?
Unfortunately, I didn't really. My command was all Rear D, so it was a really small group of either soldiers that were getting out or that had medical issues and couldn't deploy. And most of our battalion had been deployed at that point too. We had one unit there, I think, that was working the road, but I kind of didn't do the normal reset when you come back. When you come back, there's usually 10 days of reintegration and where you get, all your stuff evaluated, and you do it as a company, and it's kind of in a round robin. So you get everything checked in different days, different stations, whatever the case is. And I just kind of had to walk myself through medical. Yeah. But I mean, I was able to figure it out, and I did get help. So.
Well, I mean, that's good, because a lot of people don't figure it out, and they say women live longer than men because women notice and take care of things where men try to.
Right.
Not. So you were just smarter.
Yeah. I had to be self-sufficient. Don't get me wrong. My rear command they were great. They were great. I think that it was just a bit chaotic, coming back. I didn't have a real mission as far as how to operate and get back into a working unit, because we were just there for support to the unit deployed at that time.
Yeah.
So.
So you deployed again.
I did.
And how was that? Like, what was that churning in you, like getting ready to go again?
Well, I was actually excited. We had been gearing up for this deployment, but I had to get cleared in order to go. And I had been training with these guys, I say guys, gals too, but I've been training with my buddies, for this whole time for this deployment, and I had to get cleared in order to go. So I went and asked my doctor, and fortunately I had been on my meds long enough, and it wasn't, the TBI wasn't threatening, and my psych was a lot better. My mental status was a lot better because of the counseling that I did and the work that I put in, because it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And so he cleared me, and I was able to go again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And where did you deploy the second time?
To Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, the same area, or?
Yeah, Paktika province. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was weird coming back, like, here I am again.
Well, yeah, but I was more experienced. I was higher ranking. I had a little bit more, control of the situation. And because of my experience and with the people that I was dealing with, I was able to give them a heads up as far as what's about to happen. Hey, we're about to be, in Bagram, and you're going to have to take your bags from this place to this place. And then we're probably going to get on a Chinook and get to JAF. And then from there, we might be brought in by, a helicopter or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
A Black Hawk, that's it.
Black Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that really stands out that you're not just proud of, but you think back and think, wow, I can't believe we did that? I mean, on your deployments, besides meeting your husband. I know when he watches this, he'll think, well, it wasn't the most important thing yet, meeting me, but what do you think that really stands out?
As far as just deployments or my service in general?
Deployments and service in general. About your last deployment, what really stands out is, wow, I can't believe I got to do that, and I got to experience that, and we were making a difference. A lot of people don't know the difference we were making in lives.
Right. I have a really cool picture, and there's actually one right behind me of me with a little Afghani girl.
Yeah.
And some of these missions that we did, the kids are pretty scared of you if they're not asking you for pens. Some of them they are, but especially the little girls, they're not used to that. They're used to men, coming around, in which case they're not necessarily allowed to be seen.
Yeah.
But when it's a female soldier, it's actually a little bit more accepted now. Now they're more used to it. And so these little girls would come out and just kind of look, like, wow, like that's, So we would hope that it would give them a little thought of freedom, that comes with being a woman in a country that is, free. But unfortunately, I'm not sure where they are, what's going to happen.
A lot of people got evacuated. I know that the work that Mighty Oaks was doing with their work, they got 17,000 people out.
Right.
And they're still getting people out.
Right.
So there's still hope, and we did make a difference, and those people will remember that. And regardless of how dire it looks, I think that everything we do does matter. And that's hard to swallow right now.
It really is. I think there's a torn emotion there, especially for the people that you lose while you're there, or the people that get injured or it just, then it's like, well, why?
Yeah, why?
Why were we there?
Yeah.
I know a lot of my battle buddies, like from my generation, have that sentiment the same, like, why, what was the point? Which is, I think, where we can kind of relate to Vietnam vets in that situation. So. Yeah,
exactly. I think you're exactly right. But I think that, the people that hold out hope that saw us, that would never realize there was another life possible.
Right.
And you just never know how that's going to play out in the long game,
mm-hmm.
Because leaders don't stay in power forever.
Right.
Yeah. So we'd done a lot of good work. So in general, overall your service, what do you think really stands out in all the years you served in your mind when you think back over it all?
Just the battle buddies I made, the camaraderie that comes that nothing else compares to. That's what made this place so awesome, was being here, is that you're with like-minded people that you don't necessarily, when you move back home, you're not surrounded by military members 24 hours a day like you were before. And so being able to come here to the museum and talk with vets that just get the dark sense of humor, or the laugh to keep from crying stuff, that a lot of people just don't understand it.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, this is a destination location, and as many times as I come here, because of the uniqueness of this particular museum, I always see something new. I mean, every time I come up here, I think, well, I forgot this room was here, or I feel like I'm in the room for the first time.
Right.
And it's just such a different museum, and this this YouTube channel is viewed by people all over the country, and I tell people, if you're looking for a neat place to come that you wouldn't imagine, you can, between what's going on in Houston and Conroe and here, it is really a destination location.
It is. I mean, I've been here for a year and I learned something new about this place every day. I mean, there's sand from Iwo Jima on the wall back there. So, I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff. So.
Yeah. And you got your own stuff here too.
I do. Yeah, one of our volunteers, he made that for me. He was pretty proud. I wasn't one to come in and talk about it, but as soon as the word got out, it was like, what, and
you're on the wall.
I was put on the wall.
Well, I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
I think it's awesome talking to you, and
thank you.
I'm glad you're going to be home closer to your family now, and
yes,
and that's really cool.
Well, I'm going to take an extension of the museum there. That's what I feel like. I feel like everything that I've learned here has set me up to hopefully do better there, and
So now you get to go home to be more with your family. You've got another opportunity. So how's that feel? That's got to be great, even though you're sad to leave here.
I am sad to leave here. I'm sad, but I'm not going to be gone forever. I'm only right up the road, and I'm just going to take the museum and I'm just going to be an extension of this place. Everything I've learned here and the resources that I've gained working here is what's going to be able to help me do my job there and help the veterans in that community. It's important, and that's my town. That's where I live, and I'm grateful to be a part of it, and I'm blessed to be able to continue in my mission of helping veterans, and that's the goal.
Well, thank you for your work here.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it. Well, Erica, thank you for being on the Honor Cafe Hall of Heroes and the Hearts Heroes. You're part of that. We're joined here, and we're here at your display, and it was really awesome talking to you. And thank you for everything you've done here at the museum.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to tell my story. I appreciate it.
Thank you again for tuning in to another Honor Cafe Hall of Heroes.